No country has become a regional or global power without the ability to project military power in the region or across the globe. Today we are talking about India. Past of Indian Army. A military department was created within the government of the East India Company at Kolkata in the year 1776. With the Charter Act of 1833, the Secretariat of the Government of the East India Company was reorganized into 4 departments, including a military department. The British Indian Army was a critical force for the primacy of the British Empire both in India and across the world. Besides maintaining the internal security of the British Raj, the army fought in many other theaters like Anglo-Burmese Wars, First and Second Anglo-Sikh Wars, First, Second and Third Anglo-Afghan Wars, First and Second Opium Wars in China, Abyssinia, Boxer Rebellion in China. In the 20th century, the Indian Army was a crucial adjunct to the British forces in both the World Wars. 1.3 million Indian soldiers served in World War I, 1914 to 1918, for the Allies, in which 74,187 Indian troops were killed or missing in action. After the United Kingdom made promises of self-governance to the Indian National Congress in return for its support, Britain reneged on its promises after the war, following which the Indian independence movement gained strength. In World War II, Indian soldiers fought for the Allies. Their mission was internal security and defense against a possible Soviet threat through Afghanistan. The most serious problem was lack of equipment. Some 87,000 Indian soldiers died in the war. Upon independence and the subsequent partition of India in 1947, 4 of the 10 Gurkha regiments were transferred to the British Army. The rest of the British Indian Army was divided between the newly created nations of India and Pakistan. Since the freedom of India and the formation of Pakistan, the first war was in 1947 itself for the state of Kashmir. From then on there have been several wars that the Indian Army has faced, like the Indo-Pakistan War in 1965 and again the Indo-Pakistan War in 1971, later Kargil War in 1999, and have returned all with victory. 2 War with China, Sino-Indian War in 1962 and 1967 Sino-Indian conflict. 1962 war was lost by poor defense strategy, but 1967 conflict was returned with victory. Apart from these wars, they have also been active participants in peace and assistance missions, like during the Korean War, the Indian Army was sent to Korea for peacekeeping and medical assistance in 1953, they were there for the liberation of Goa in 1961, they have also undertaken numerous peacekeeping missions. Present of Indian Army. India has now ranked 4 on global firepower. India defense budget ranked 6 with $53.6 billion. Today, the Indian Armed Forces has a reported strength of 1.4 million active personnel and 2.1 million reserve personnel. In addition, there are approximately 1.3 million paramilitary personnel, making it one of the world's 3rd largest military forces. India has been the largest troop contributor to UN missions since its inception. So far, India has taken part in 43 peacekeeping missions with a total contribution exceeding 160,000 troops and a significant number of police personnel having been deployed. In 2014, India is the 3rd largest troop contributor, TCC, with 7,860 personnel deployed with 10 UN peacekeeping missions, of which 995 are police personnel, including the first female-formed police unit under the UN. The current combat doctrine of the Indian Army is based on effectively utilizing holding formations and strike formations. The Indian Army is large enough to devote several corps to the strike role. The Army is also looking at enhancing its special forces capabilities. India is reorganizing its mechanized forces to achieve strategic mobility and high-volume firepower for rapid thrusts into enemy territory. India's missile defense network has 2 principal components, the Air Defense Ground Environment System, AGES, and the Base Air Defense Zones, BADZ. The Ballistic Missile Defense Program is an initiative to develop and deploy a multi-layered ballistic missile defense system to protect India from ballistic missile attacks. Cruise missile defense. Defending against an attack by a cruise missile, on the other hand, is similar to tackling low-flying manned aircraft, and hence most methods of aircraft defense can be used for a cruise missile defense system. To ward off the threats of nuke-tipped cruise missile attack, India has a new missile defense program which will be focused solely on intercepting cruise missiles. Indian Defense Ministry approved purchase of 5 battalions, along with 6,000 missiles, of the S-400 Triumph missile system in December 2015. The Indian Army has also embarked on an infantry modernization program known as Futuristic Infantry Soldier as a System, FINSYS. The infantry soldiers will be equipped with modular weapon systems that will have multi-functions. Future of Indian Army. FINSYS is the Indian Army's principal infantry modernization program, which aims to modernize the Army's 465 infantry and paramilitary battalions by 2020. The program aims to upgrade the infantry with a multi-caliber rifle with an underbarrel grenade launcher and bulletproof jackets and helmets. India is currently reorganizing its mechanized forces to achieve strategic mobility and high-volume firepower for rapid thrusts into enemy territory. The major ongoing weapons programs of the Indian Army are as follows. Arjun Mk3, Futuristic Battle Tank, FMBT. The FMBT will be a lighter tank of 50 tons. 5th, Futuristic Infantry Combat Vehicle. Tata Kestreli Modern Armored Personnel Carrier developed by Tata Motors and the Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO. The Defense Ministry in 2010 had drafted a 15-year technology perspective and roadmap, which held development of ASAT weapons for electronic or physical destruction of satellites in both LEO, 2,000 km altitude above Earth's surface, and the higher geosynchronous orbit as a thrust area in its long-term integrated perspective plan under the management of DRDO. DRDO is working on a slew of directed energy weapons, DEWs, and has identified DEWs, along with space security, cyber security, and hypersonic vehicles, missiles as focus areas in the next 15 years. Hypersonic Technology Demonstrator Vehicle, HSDDV is an unmanned scramjet demonstration aircraft for hypersonic flight, Mach 6.5. There are many things which we cannot discuss in one video. So more updates are coming in future related to past, present and future of Indian Air Force, Indian Navy, and Indian Defense. So, please subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Hope you like it.